So underway here at the Liverpool Echo Arena with the first fight of this evening between Jamie Cox and Manoo Salari. Things never quite go according to plan, do they, Colin?
Not where boxing is concerned.
That's the voice of Colin Hart, who joins me ringside. We weren't expecting to be commentating on this fight, but Jamie Cox has, or Tobias Webb, shall I say, has turned into Jamie Cox. And this fight goes ahead first on the card. Jamie Cox being lined up for a British welterweight title shot against Kell Brook, current champion. I'm sure he'll be lined up against the winner of Kell Brook's rearranged fight with Michael Jennings, which was supposed to have taken place tonight and didn't go ahead because of a touch of swine flu for Kell Brook. It might mean that Cox has to wait his time. I know he wanted that British title shot before the end of the year. He was eyeing the Amir Khan bill up in Newcastle. Doesn't look like that's going to happen now. The bill itself happens, but the title shot for Jamie Cox. But it might have come a little bit too early for him anyway, mightn't it, Colin? He's only had, 10, 11 fights and not particularly experienced.
I'm surprised that they're thinking of putting him in with someone like Kell Brook after only 12, 13, 14 fights. I mean, I don't understand this rushing youngsters. I mean, he's got so much time on his side. Why they want to rush him into championship fights? I suppose you could argue that Kell Brook is only 22 and has already won a Lonsdale belt outright. But Kell Brook, I think, is a really special talent.
And Cox, he's looked a little bit ragged, hasn't he, at times, Colin, in his pro career. He started off fantastically. We saw him in Wolverhampton back in April, and he looked a little bit ragged that night. He did manage to get a stoppage win. Looks as if he's taking his time more this evening. He's trying to ease himself into the fight. His opponent, Manoo Salari, well, he was born in Iran, now fights out of Worksop in Nottinghamshire. He's not got the best of records. 4 wins, 9 losses and 3 draws. He probably knows how to look after himself, though. And Cox might go a few rounds here, Colin.
Well, I always say the same thing with young fighters. It doesn't do them any harm to get rounds under their belt, and the more rounds they have, the more they're going to learn.
It's an all Southpaw clash this evening. Cox is in the black shorts, Salari in the silver. It's been a decent start by both boxers, hasn't it, Colin?
Yeah, I mean, it's competitive, even though Salari's record doesn't compare to Cox's, who after all is unbeaten, and out of his 12 wins he's got 7 inside the distance. So he'd do well, Salari, to go the whole 8 rounds.
I switch to Jamie Cox's corner.
I always think it's a bit unfortunate being first on the bill, because obviously hardly anybody in the arena, so there's no atmosphere. An atmosphere always helps fighters, I find, when they've got a big crowd.
Well, we just watched some action back from the first round there. That was a good right hand from Salari. Right on the forehead. And Cox has looked a little bit loose in his career so far. He's a very good amateur, ABA champion and a 2006 Commonwealth Games gold medalist. So he's got the pedigree. When he turned professional, Frank Warren was very, very excited. He thought he was good enough to go on and win a world title. Whether he's that good remains to be seen. He's definitely a talent, Jamie Cox. Fights out of Swindon. And shifts a few tickets down there. But he's almost been hidden away a bit, hasn't he, Colin? Not too many headlines, not too much press about him.
No.
Think of all the
well, he's been in the shadow of Khan, and now, of course, he's in the shadow of the Olympians.
Yep.
The 3 Olympic guys who've turned pro after Beijing, which won't do him any harm. He won't get big-headed that way.
Well, that's his peer group, isn't it? It's Stephen Smith and Frankie Gavin, James DeGale, Billy Joe Saunders, and maybe a little bit behind Khan. This is good stuff here from Cox. Fast hands, but he's almost too fast for his own good sometimes. I remember watching him earlier in his career, and there's almost I thought, an element of Joe Calzaghe about him. And maybe the southpaw stance on the black shorts helped. He's got that kind of speed, though, hasn't he, Colin?
Yeah, he has got very fast hands. But as you say, if he slows himself down a little, he'll probably be able to punch a bit harder. Although as I say, he's got those 7 inside a distance wins out of 12 fights, so he obviously hurts them when he hits them.
Yeah, a couple very early as well. I remember we were down in Swindon. It was Valentine's Day, wasn't it, Colin? A romantic way to...
Did I take you out to Swindon on Valentine's Day?
We had a romantic table for 2 ringside in Swindon, and Jamie Cox won inside the first round that evening and looked impressive in doing so. I get taken to all the best places with Colin Hart. More measured second round this for Jamie Cox, and he looks good for doing it. And he just slips over and has his gloves wiped down by referee Phil Edwards. It's just a little bit marked up, isn't he, Colin, underneath that left eye, I think. It's reddening there. I thought I noticed a little nick around the right eye too.
Well, whatever it is, it's not too serious.
No. So the bell goes for the end of the second round, and Jamie Cox wanders back to his corner. Thoughts so far, Colin Hart?
Well, he's not uprooting any trees at the moment. Let's hear what Salari's corner is saying.
Dominic Ingle in the corner.
Nice and relaxed and slow. Cage it. Pick your shots. Think about what you're doing. Understand? This kid's trying to bang you out. And he'll get more frustrated and he'll start walking in, then you'll catch him. Do you understand?
Well, some wise words of advice there from Dominic Ingle, who's telling Manoo Salari that Jamie Cox is trying to bang you out. And if you ride out the storm, he'll get impatient and frustrated. As we watch some action back there from the second round.
Second round, round 3.
And now we're underway for round number 3.
Well, so far Cox hasn't been able to dominate this guy. And of course, when you've got someone like Cox, so much is expected of him, very often, you know, they can try too hard. Too hard to impress, that I mean.
I think he looked really good against an aggressive fighter, wouldn't he? A come-forward fighter.
Well,
it'll also be a risk or two as well, wouldn't it?
He's got to learn to handle all sorts of fighters. Yeah. Of course, it's going to be interesting to see how fit Salari is in rounds, I would say 6, 7 and 8, if it goes that far.
Absolutely right, Colin. This one's scheduled for 8 rounds. Good work from Cox there, targeting the body. I'm not sure how many of those shots got through, though.
That left hook then, I think.
Yeah, Cox beginning to step on the gas here. There was a right hand that went in there as well, which looked quite tasty. Back comes Salari with a right of his own. Cox just has to be careful here not to get caught on the counter. And Salari does get through with a couple of clean shots there. Well, Salari very much on the back foot at the moment. Body shots come in from Cox now as well.
Cox is stalking Salari all the time, looking to land one really big, impressive punch on the chin. So far, Salari's managed to avoid the heavy artillery. Oh, he hurt him then, dug in a left to the body, it really hurt him.
He did, he's got him backed up on the ropes here as well. Now Salari holds on. The referee has a little look at him. A couple of those shots definitely hurt him. Cox beginning to wear him down. Keep moving till he tells his corner to him. Becoming increasingly hard work for the away man.
Well, that was Cox's best round by far, and he really upped his work rate in that round and was getting home with some really good, hefty-looking shots, which I don't think Mr. Salari appreciated too much.
When he's trying to come to you, as soon as he tries to attack you, just take the half step back and shoot the 1-2, just like we did in the dressing.
Watching some replay stuff now, very good left, but it was slightly too high on Salari's face, hit him on the nose. It'd be interesting to see if that punch had hit him on the chin. Salari's corner pulled him out. He obviously didn't fancy getting knocked out.
Well, it was a tough round, wasn't it, that third round for him, Colin? And he obviously had too much and didn't fancy the fourth.
No.
Who could blame him, because he did take some stick in that third round.
Yeah, he, as I say, he really opened up and got home, got through the guard, got through Salari's defences, and I think the corner probably thought, save him from being knocked out, pull him out.
So win number 13 for Jamie Cox, 8 inside the distance. He looks almost like a little bit disappointed, doesn't he?
Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the third round, Manu Salari's corner has retired him due to a broken tooth and damaged jaw. The winner in the red corner from Swindon, Jamie Cox.
So a broken tooth and a damaged jaw, the official reason for Manu Salari retiring at the end of that third round.
It might have been something to do with a broken heart as well.
It was, because Cox was well on top in the third, and no